Site Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. I'm Rick Olson, and tonight we're getting ready to bring you Colfax High School Viking Girls Basketball. Tonight, the 8-4 Colfax Vikings, who are 4-2 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference, are getting ready to take on the 5-8 Boyceville Bulldogs, who are 2-4 in the Dunn-St Croix in a conference matchup. The Vikings are coming off a 53-33 loss to the Durand, Arkansas Panthers back on Friday night, as their game scheduled for Monday was canceled due to the extreme cold. Now, the Bulldogs are coming off a 64-58 win over the Spring Valley Cardinals back on Friday, as their game scheduled against Prairie Farm on Monday was also canceled due to the cold. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Bulldogs and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then we'll take a quick look around the Dunn-St Croix Conference to see where things stand. Following that, we'll send it out to Boyceville High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to bed.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls Dunn-St Croix Conference basketball game between the 5-8 Boyceville Bulldogs, who are 2-4 in the Dunn-St Croix, and the 8-4 Colfax Vikings, who are 4-2 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference. Now, the Vikings are coming off a 53-33 loss to the Durand, Arkansas Panthers back on Friday night, while the Bulldogs defeated the Spring Valley Cardinals 64-58 also on Friday. The Bulldogs and the Vikings each had their games scheduled for Monday canceled due to the extreme cold. In that loss to Durand, Arkansas, the Vikings were unable to keep up with the quickness and aggressiveness of the Panthers. The Vikings fell behind from the start, going down 12-0 and were unable to recover. The Viking defense played respectively well, holding the Panthers under their season average, while allowing the Viking offense to score above the average of the Panthers' opponents. Now, leading the way for the Vikings in that effort against Durand, Arkansas was junior Bryn Sikora, who hit 4 field goals, 2 of which were three-pointers for 10 points. Now to the top of the key to Sikora, puts up the three. She hit the three! Bryn Sikora with the three-pointer. She was followed by senior Kason Goodell, who put in 3 field goals, including a three-pointer, as well as 2 free throws for a total of 9 points. Gets it into Goodell, puts up the three. She hit the three! Kason Goodell with a three-pointer. She's got 9 on the night. Now, leading the Vikings on the board was Sierra Shipman, who grabbed 6 rebounds. Tonight, the Vikings are preparing to take on the Boyceville Bulldogs in a conference matchup. The Bulldogs have a conference record of 2 wins and 4 losses. So far this season, they're averaging 47 points per game while giving up 43. The Bulldogs faced the Vikings earlier this season on December 5th, and the Vikings came out on top 54-27. Now, leading the way scoring for the Bulldogs is freshman Brooklyn Talmadge, who's shooting 30% from the floor as well as 30% from three-point range, while averaging nearly 14 points per game. She's followed by freshman Blake Jeske, who's averaging nearly 11 points per game. Sophomore Aubrey Malene is also contributing nearly 10 points per game. Jeske and Malene and Talmadge lead the Bulldogs in rebounding, with each averaging around 6 rebounds per game. The Vikings so far this season are being led in scoring by junior Jordan Bovey, who's shooting over 41% from the floor while scoring nearly 14 points per game. She's being followed by senior Kason Goodell, who's sitting on 39% from the floor while averaging almost 12 points per game, while Sierra Shipman is chipping in almost 10 points per game. On the boards, junior Bryn Sikora is leading the way, pulling down over 6 rebounds per game, followed by Goodell and Shipman, who are grabbing around 6 per game each. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Well, surprise, today we're not speaking with Coach Serrar. We're speaking with assistant coach Carly Kittleson on Coach's Corner. And Coach, in just a few minutes, the Vikings are going to get back into action as they take on the Boyceville Bulldogs in a Dunn-St Croix Conference game. But before we get to that game, last week on Friday, the Vikings suffered a tough loss to the Durand, Arkansas Panthers, 53-33. Your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, we did. It was not our best game. We just felt like we maybe didn't come out with a ton of passion and grit. Durand seemed like they wanted a little bit more. And those are just things that just can't happen. Doing the right things, like the little things right, is something that you just got to do every single night. And when we played Durand, sometimes that was missing. So
now in that game, it seemed as though the Vikings had a difficult time with the quickness and aggressiveness of the Panthers. Your thoughts about that?
That goes back to we just got outworked. We felt like they got to the loose balls. They were getting rebounds. We were in position for a rebound, and then we would just kind of stand there, and they'd get their own rebound and put it back in. So we can't get outworked.
And I don't think, if you put them side by side, I don't think Durand is any quicker than the Vikings. No. It's just that they did it better that night.
They did. Yep. And against good teams, that can't happen.
Now, one of the keys to that game was, as you mentioned, rebounding. It seemed as though the Vikings had way too many one-and-done possessions, and the Panthers also controlled the offensive boards. What can the Vikings do to improve the rebounding situation?
Well, for sure, we need to crash the boards. There were multiple times, possessions, we would take a quick shot or even a shot within our offense, and we didn't have anybody crashing the boards, which, that can't be the case. Kaysen is our responsibility back, and the other 4 should be crashing the boards.
And we kind of noticed that some of it was in rebounding position. We had girls unable to get inside the Durand girls and have position for the rebound, even if it means pushing your tush into the other girl. You got to be able to do that sometimes.
Yep, that goes back to the effort and just getting it done. We practice it in practice every day. So just the willingness to get those little things done right.
Now, tonight, Vikings have a chance to right the ship. They're taking on the Boyceville Bulldogs. Now, that's a team the Vikings defeated 54-27 back in December, but they've been playing a little better as of late. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
You know, they definitely have kids who can score the ball. They like to try and push the ball if able. So we just have to be ready for their back screens. They're very good in their offense at setting those back screens, which are hard to defend. So we got to make sure we talk to each other and then help, but then the helper needs to be there as well. Just play our game.
Are you at all concerned that, earlier this week we had a couple days off because of cold weather and so on, and it's been nearly a week. In fact, just about a week since the Vikings last played. There might be a little bit of rust on the Vikings, and this could open up the possibilities of a trap game.
I don't think so. Boyceville's in the same boat. They, of course, dealt with the cold weather too. I believe they played last Friday against Spring Valley. So we just got to go in there and, play our game, but attitude and effort and, have some fun. Remember why you play the game a little bit, enjoy it and go hard. In the end, the team that has the best attitude, effort, and obviously can score the ball and defend will come out with the win. But, just like we said, those little things of what we've been focusing on, we just got to do the little things right. You can't just take those things for granted or go through the motions. Play as a team, be a great teammate. And, we did practice, we had a good practice yesterday. And so I think, things will be fine as long as we play our game.
Well, Coach Kittleson, we're looking for the Vikings to be able to turn things around. Good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can find a way to get back on the winning track and help keep pressure on those conference front runners.
That's right. Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. 4 teams from the Dunn-St. Croix Conference had non-conference games scheduled for Monday. However, due to the extreme cold, all of those games were canceled. Then on Tuesday, in a DSC contest, the Spring Valley Cardinals were to travel to Elmwood High School to face the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. However, the cold weather prevented that game as well. So that leaves the Dunn-St. Croix Conference standings heading into tonight's conference games as follows. In first place are the Elkmound Mounders, who are 7-0. In second place, we find the Durand, Arkansas Panthers at 6-1 and just 1 game out of first. In third place are the Colfax Vikings at 4-2 and 2.5 games out of first. The 4-3 Mondovi Buffaloes are in fourth place and are 3 games off the pace. In fifth place are the Boyceville Bulldogs at 2-4. Sixth place sees a tie between the Spring Valley Cardinals and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, with both teams at 1-5, while 8th place belongs to the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Tonight's Dunn-St. Croix Conference matchups include, in addition to the Vikings traveling to Boyceville to take on the Bulldogs, we find the Elkmound Mounders making the trip to Durand to take on the Durand, Arkansas Panthers, and the Spring Valley Cardinals welcome the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. It will also be the Mondovi Buffaloes traveling to Plum City to face the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Now tonight the Vikings will have to put forth a stronger effort than they did on Friday, especially with energy and rebounding. The Bulldogs, on the other hand, would like to get some payback for their loss to the Vikings back in December. The Bulldogs have been playing improved basketball as of late, so the Vikings need to come prepared for Boyceville's best effort. So the stage is set for some exciting Colfax Viking Girls Basketball, and in just a moment we'll send it out to Boyceville High School where our broadcast crew will bring you all the action of tonight's girls' game between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking Girls Basketball is on the air.
Back over to Sierra Shipman. She spins at the top of the key, takes it into the lane, lays it up and puts it in. Sierra Shipman with her first 2 points of the night.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN-TV, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Girls Basketball.
Then over to the left side to Jordan, lays it up and puts it in.
Join us as we follow the Vikings as they battle their way through the Dunn-St Croix Conference.
To Goodell from three, she'd hit the three!
And now, out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
Good evening and welcome to Boyceville High School for Dunn-St Croix Conference Girls Basketball. Tonight the Colfax Lady Vikings will be taking on the Lady Bulldogs of Boyceville here. I'm Jay Fall here with Dan Petshaw. Our camera operator is Chris Olson. I'm glad you joined us here on NLWN-TV. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. C&K Construction, concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley, and Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors by doing business with them soon. They bring you Colfax Viking basketball here on NLWN-TV. Vikings come into this game in third place in the Dunn-St Croix Conference. They have a conference record of 4-2. They are 8-4 on the season. And the Lady Vikings are coming in off a loss to the top-ranked team in the, second-ranked team in the conference. Durand, Arkansas, last Friday night, 53-33. They were to play at Prescott on Monday night, and that got postponed because of the cold. And we'll let you know that that game will be made up on Saturday, February 22nd, and can be seen live on NLWN-TV. The Boyceville Lady Bulldogs are fifth in the Dunn-St Croix. They have 2 wins and 4 losses. They are 5-8 on the season. We'll be back with more prior to tip-off. Here you're watching Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on NLWN-TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Should tell you that the Lady Bulldogs come into this game with a win over Spring Valley. They're 64-58 on Friday night. Before that, they had 4 straight losses to Durand, Arkansas, Mondovi, Alma Pepin, and Independence Gilmanton. Some other games going on around the conference tonight. Along with this one, the top 2 teams in the conference square off. The undefeated Elk Mound Mounders, well, undefeated in the conference, they're 13-1, will travel to Durand, Arkansas to take on the Panthers, 6-1, 12-3 overall. Mondovi is at Plum City Elmwood tonight. Plum City Elmwood 0-5 in the conference, 1-12 on the year, whereas Mondovi is in 4th place. The visiting team, they are 4-3, 9-6 overall. And the two-way tie for 6th place in the conference will be broken when Spring Valley and Glenwood City face off at Spring Valley. Both have 1-5 conference records, but Spring Valley 6-9 in the conference. 6-9 overall, excuse me, and 6-7 overall for Glenwood City. We'll be back to run down the starting lineups before the tip-off, and we'll send that, well, maybe we'll send it to the, yeah, well, let's take a break. We'll be back on NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform and attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Okay. Quick look at the Boyceville Bulldogs starters. They will start sophomore number 12, Ellie Engelman, along with Aubrey Moline, another sophomore. She'll wear number 20. Blake Jeske, a freshman, number 21. Zoe Helendrung, a junior, wearing number 22. And then Brooke Talmadge, a freshman, number 35. And Colfax's starters will be number 4, Kason Goodell, number 12, Jordan Bovey, number 30, Sierra Shipman, number 34, Bryn Sikora, and number 44, Clara Hajdukovic.
Thank you. And now our starting lineups. Beginning with the visiting Vikings from Colfax. Number 4, senior Kaysen Goodell.
5'6" guard.
Number 12, junior, Jordan Bovey.
5'6" guard.
Number 30, junior, Sierra Shipman. Number 34, junior, Bryn Sikora.
5'7"
Number
forward.
44, junior, Clara Higudokovic. The Vikings are coached by Courtney
5'11"
Sara
freshman.
and assisted by Carly Kittleson. And now, the starting lineup for your Boyceville Bulldogs. Number 12, sophomore, Allie Engelman. Number 14, junior, Chelsea Holden. Number 20, sophomore, Aubrey Malie. Number 21, freshman, Blake Jeski. And number 45, freshman, Brooklyn Talmadge.
So the only difference from what I read earlier was instead of junior Zoe Helendrung, it was junior Chelsea Holden, number 14. So we are set to go, the Bulldogs. We are sitting across from the benches and scores table. The Bulldogs are wearing home white with purple numerals and trim. They'll be moving left to right as we look on here. Colfax, of course, in red. And the ball tipped back to Boyceville's Aubrey Maline. And Colfax moving the other way, of course. So starting out with it is Boyceville. Jeski drives in toward the lane. Has to pass it back out on top. Aubrey Maline with the ball. She'll fire it off. Free throw line right to Brooke Talmadge. And then trying to get it into Blake Jeski. It goes out of bounds. Colfax is going to have it back. Or have it for the first time. 17:35 to go first half. We are scoreless. Bounce pass goes into Kaysen Goodell. Goodell will bounce pass it over to Bovey. Bovey goes in but then decides to pass out to Shipman. And then a shot by Sikora rolls out and it's rebounded by the Bulldogs' Aubrey Maline. Brooklyn Talmadge, three-pointer, in and out, rebounded by Colfax's Kaysen Goodell. She'll bring it out of the backcourt for the visiting Vikings. Kaysen looks, fires off to her right. That's Bryn Sikora, then she'll let it go into the corner. Coming out with it is Sierra Shipman. Fired into Hajdukovic, back out to Sikora. That shot hits the rim, doesn't go, but it's rebounded by Bovey. Back out to Goodell. Goodell layup, good. Found a spot on the right side, went right in it, and Colfax starts out with a lead, 2-0. 16 and a half minutes to go, first half. Engelman with the ball, and it looks like we had a push that's going to be charged to Jordan Bovey of Colfax. So Aubrey Merline's going to toss it in underneath the basket. She bounces it inside to Chelsea Holden. She puts it up and in off the glass. And we are at 2-2. Kaysen Goodell brings it up the floor, dishes it underneath to Bovey. And then outside to Bryn Sikora, in and out, rebounded by Boyceville's Blake Jeski. Jeski brings it up the floor. Engelman at the free throw line ended up taking an extra step. Her momentum just pulled her over that way. We're tied at 2 as we approach 16 minutes remaining in the first half of tonight's ball game. Into Kaysen Goodell. She crosses the B at the center of the gym. Back out on top, the pass goes to Bryn Sikora, in and out again, reload too hard, up again by Hajdukovic, and she is fouled on the way up. She's going to get 2 free throws. Clara Hajdukovic, a 5'11" junior forward.
Her first, team first.
And the first foul on Blake Jeske as well as on the Lady Bulldogs, 1 team foul apiece. And Hajdukovic makes free throw number 1. So the Monday night girls game that was going to be played at Prescott will be made up Saturday, February 22nd. That can be seen live on NLWN-TV, where you are right now. That one spun around a lot and finally went in. Boyceville bringing it up the floor. It's Talmadge. Then down underneath, stolen by Colfax. That was Bryn Sikora that got in the way of that. And Goodell up the floor for the Lady Vikings. Fires it off to the left to Hajdukovic. Bovey outside the arch. Now a 3-point attempt. Nailed by Kaysen Goodell. 7-2 Colfax. Approaching 15 minutes left to go here in the first half. Talmadge and Jeske passing back and forth on the right wing. Now Jeske tries to move into the lane. Colfax man-to-man defense. Aubrey Moline still dribbling up at the top of the key. Fires off at the right to Chelsea Holden. Holden back to Moline and try to set it up again here. Not a whole lot of movement. Moline's going to go into the free throw line, pass it back to Blake Jeske. Jeske to Engelman. Back out on top, Holden. Going to try again down to the right side, Talmadge. Talmadge getting tangled up. Ball stolen by Kaysen Goodell for the Vikings. Goodell gets toward the sideline. She's going to take it in, pop it up from 8. That one rolls out, no good. Rebounded by Boyceville's Blake Jeske. Jeske across the timeline. Fires down in the near corner to Moline. Moline goes up but does not have the ball. Colfax comes up with it. That one was knocked away by Bryn Sikora. Goodell will fire over to Sierra Shipman. Shipman has the ball knocked away. Boyceville steals it. That was knocked down by Blair Jeske into the hands of Claire Holden. Or Chelsea Holden, sorry. 3-pointer, good for Brooklyn Talmadge of the Bulldogs. And we now have 7 for Colfax, 5 for Boyceville, 13 and a half minutes to go in the first half. And we're going to have a foul charge to Boyceville's Brooklyn Talmadge. That is her first. That's the second foul
Her first, team second.
for the Bulldogs as a team. Jordan Bovey is going to throw it in underneath the Colfax basket. Alley-oops it in right into the lane, and unfortunately that shot didn't get in by Lyric Nichols. And now we're going to have no shot traveling. So Colfax will get it back. Full court pressure now being applied by the Lady Bulldogs. Inbounds throw goes into Jordan Bovey. Bovey guarded by Engelman of Boyceville. Off on the right side to Adeline Acker now into the ball game. Jordan Bovey, corner of the lane, bounces back out to Nichols. Over to Goodell, inside to Bryn Sikora, and Sikora caught in the lane for 3 seconds. 7-5 Boyceville out in front of Colfax. 12:55 left to go in the first half. Jay Fall, Dan Petshaw, Chris Olson on our camera from Boyceville here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV. Ball stolen on the pass by Bryn Sikora of Colfax, and it gets knocked out of bounds off Boyceville, so Colfax will keep it rolling toward their end. Kaysen Goodell bring it out of the backcourt. Goodell to Sikora. Sikora trying to give it to somebody, nobody to give it to. Bulldogs will take it. Zoe Hellingdrun now in the ball game. Out to Ellie Engeman. They feed Brooklyn Talmadge. She puts it in on the right side, and we are tied at 7. 12-12 left first half. Goodell brings it up the floor. Goodell out to Nichols. Then up on top to Acker. In the corner, down underneath. Ball's passed outside to Nichols. Outside the arch to Bovey. Into Goodell. Misses a layup on the left side. And coming up with the ball, Aubrey Moline for Boyceville. Moline fires to Blake Jeske. She looked at one, will try a layup, and that one falls short. And Goodell will bring it up the floor for the Vikings. Goodell has it roll off the top of her foot, but she'll give it to Bryn Sikora. She'll try the three-pointer. Missed, rebounded by Blake Jeske. Jeske going up the center of the lane. That one short like the last layup attempt, and the rebound by Lyric Nichols. And now it's stolen away from Kaysen Goodell. Ball saved from going out of bounds, but Boyceville wants a timeout. 10:58 to go, first half, 7 apiece. Boyceville and Colfax. You're watching Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on NLWN-TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Well, the girls' game canceled earlier in the week because of cold. So was the boys' game. They were going to host Mondovi. That'll be made up as the first half of boys, then girls doubleheader on Tuesday, February 11th, with the boys against Mondovi tipping off at 5:45, followed by the girls' game against Glenwood City. Both games will be carried on both of our stations. Coverage beginning about 5:15. Colfax comes up with the ball again. Shipman fires it to Goodell. Back out on top to Bovey. Bovey over to Raina Keltner now in the game. Nope, check that. That was Sierra Shipman. And we have a foul. That is going to be charged to Boyceville.
Foul on Team Talmadge, her second. Team
Brooklyn Talmadge, her second, and Boyceville's third of the half. Nobody in the bonus yet, or even near the bonus, really. So Colfax has it out underneath their basket. Kaysen Goodell looking around, finds an open Bryn Sikora. She puts it up, shot falls short, pulled out of there by Sierra Shipman. Out to the top of the key to Jordan Bovey for the three-pointer, breaking that 7-up tie. Now Colfax leading 10-7 over Boyceville. Up the floor, it's Moline, fires it off to the right to Holden. Holden back to Jeske, or sorry, that's Moline. Back out to Sydney Lunderville. Moline, give and go to Holden. Stopped at the free throw line. Moline, three-pointer, missed, rebounded by Holden of the Bulldogs. She puts it back up. She was fouled as she was going up for the shot. And the last three Boyceville shots, unfortunately, just kind of bounced in where the rim comes out low.
Her first, team second.
So on the free throw line, Chelsea Holden misses free throw number one. Still 10-7 Colfax. 9:48 to go in the first half. Second one goes in. Bryn Sikora is going to be our Viking profile player at halftime, so we hope you'll stay tuned for that. And Colfax will get the ball. Boyceville makes a substitution. Pass in is taken by Bovey. Bovey's going to go in on the right side, put in the layup. 12-8. Colfax. Blake Jeske fires out to Engelman. Engelman up from 10, missed, rebounded by Hajdukovic. Goodell driving it up. Back to Hajdukovic. And another layup on the right side by Jordan Bovey. 14-8, Colfax. Or Hajdukovic, sorry. No, Bovey. Yep. Jeske with the ball on the baseline, trying to put a shot up was Engelman, and it just hit the bottom of the net. Goodell from the far corner, trying to hand it off to Sikora, didn't get there. Boyceville gets it back. Jeske, the top of the key out to Engelman. Down in the far corner, brought that pass in. That's Holden. Back out to Hellendrum. Hellendrum stops, and she will hand it off to Lunderville, and then a shot inside the arch by Jeske missed. Coming out with it is Bryn Sikora. She'll fire it off, or no, Bryn Sikora gets the pass and puts up the basket from Jordan Bovey.
Bryn Sikora for 2.
16-8. Colfax out in front of Boyceville. 8 minutes left in the half. Blake Jeske. Give and go to Sydney Lunderville. Out to Ellie Engelman. Engelman. Bounce pass in. Pass deflected. And goes back to Jordan Bovey for Colfax. Bovey to Sierra Shipman, and she drains the three-pointer. And Colfax now has stretched their lead. It's Colfax 19, Boyceville 8, 7:33 left in the first half. Back in a minute on NLWN-TV.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
NLWN-2 is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School boys basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season.
This is what we came here for!
Our next game will be on Friday, January 24th, when the Vikings travel to Durand, Wisconsin to take on the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on Friday, January 24th on NLWN-2.
Join us on Tuesday on NLWN-TV as we bring you Colfax Viking Girls Basketball. The Vikings will play host to the Spring Valley Cardinals in the Dunn-St Croix Conference matchup. Coverage begins on NLWN-TV with a Viking pregame show at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play. Boyceville with the ball. Jeske goes in. Shot goes off the back iron. And that one an air ball, and coming up with it is Bryn Sikora. And now trying to tangle it up was Aubrey Moline. Colfax ends up coming up with it. Ball goes outside to Sierra Shipman. Her three-pointer rolls off. Hajdukovic can't get to it, but Goodell is there trying to get it into Hajdukovic, and it's taken by Blake Jeske of the Bulldogs. Off on the right side, Sydney Lunderville up on top to Blake Jeske. Fired on the other side to Moline, and she'll dribble it back into the middle. Back over on the far corner, Moline. And trying to knock that ball away was Jordan Bovey. Unfortunately, she knocked it onto the end line, so Boyceville will keep it. They'll get it underneath their own basket. And it goes to the free throw line out to Zoe Hellingdrung. And the rebound put back in by Blake Jeske. 19-10 Colfax. Vikings with the ball. Kaysen Goodell bounces it into Hajdukovic, into Bryn Sikora. Bounces a bit but goes in. 21-10 Colfax. Approaching the 6-minute mark remaining. Moline to Jeske. Bounces it inside to Hellendrung. And we have a jump ball called, and it is possession Colfax. Now Chelsea Holden back in the game for Boyceville. .5:55 left, first half. Kaysen Goodell across the timeline. Corner to Bovey, back to Goodell. Shipman on the other side, Hajdukovic, and then back over to Goodell. Via Shipman. Back to Goodell. And from the corner to the lane, that bounces out big, rebounded by Boyceville's Aubrey Moline. Moline up the floor, she'll go up with it. We're going to have a foul called on Clara Hajdukovic. And that happens a lot to the tall players, the post players.
Foul on Hajdukovic, her first.
So Aubrey Moline on the free throw line. She will shoot 2. Each team has 3 fouls. First shot is good. That's Clara Hajdukovic's first foul. Second one goes up. That one bangs around and out. It's rebounded by Bryn Sikora for Colfax. Across the timeline to Shipman, back over to Goodell. Trying to get it inside to Bryn Sikora, and the Bulldogs come up with it. Jeske fires down in on the baseline to Holden. Holden dribbles it back out, gives it to Ellie Engeman, and Colfax ends up with a loose ball. And the layup attempt by Jordan Bovey doesn't go in. Now Colfax bringing it up. Moline 1-on-2, stops, jump shot, rolls off, no good. Rebounded by Colfax. And we are going to have a foul charge to one of the Boyceville players. That would be Blake Jeske. That is her second foul. That's Boyceville's 4th of the half. 4:42 to go in the first. The Bloomer Colfax wrestling team will travel to Shell Lake Saturday with action beginning at 9:30 a.m. The Colfax gymnasts will also be in action Saturday. They'll head to Rice Lake. They start at 11. And we have a timeout called by Colfax. 4:34 to go, first half. Colfax 21, Boyceville 11. You're watching Viking Girls Basketball on NLWN-TV.
Even though it's winter, baseball is just around the corner. And the Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to bring you Colfax High School Baseball, followed by Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. So stick with us all spring and summer long for America's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Welcome back to Boyceville. The Dunn-St. Croix Conference champion Viking dance team will compete in regionals on Saturday as well. So a lot of other things happening this weekend. In addition to basketball this week at Colfax High, Lyric Nichols gets the pass, fires it back to Goodell.
Boyceville
over to Ecker.
Right now. Something new.
And the pass goes to Kaysen Goodell. Shot goes over the top. Rebound, passed out to Lyric Nichols. She'll go to the baseline. Back out to Sierra Shipman. Up on top to Kaysen Goodell. That one hits the front iron, and it's rebounded by Moline. Moline going up against Goodell. Misses the layup on the left side. Goodell comes up with the basketball. Goodell stops. Will give it to Bryn Sikora. Three-pointer off the front iron. No good. Rebounded by Lyric Nichols. Out to Goodell. Back inside to Shipman or Sikora. And she makes the basket from about 6 feet out. And we're going to stop the action here for Brooklyn Talmadge to tie her shoe. 23 for Colfax, 11 for Boyceville, 3:38 to go in the first half. Bryn Sikora scored that last basket, is our Viking profile player at halftime. That coming up, of course, shortly. Aubrey Moline to Blake Jeske. Jeske looks at one. Moline's going to take it and drain it. 23-14. Colfax with a 9-point lead over Boyceville. Goodell out to Nichols. Back to Goodell. Nichols left side. Back to Goodell, and we will have a boot of the ball. That'll be a reboot for Colfax. So Lyric Nichols will toss it in to Kaysen Goodell. They'll bring it back across the 10-second line. Sierra Shipman. Then down inside, they try to get it to Bryn Sikora. Sikora to Shipman. Shipman makes a move. Outside pass to Adeline Acker. Three-pointer bounces off. Aubrey Moline will bring it up the floor for the Lady Bulldogs. She'll hand it back to Talmadge. Moline to Engelman. She'll dribble it out in between the circles. Engelman going down inside to Zoe Hellingdrung. Then back outside for a three-point shot by Moline. No good. Went off Colfax, so Boyceville will get the ball back underneath their own basket. 2:23 remains in the first half. It's 23-14. Colfax leading Boyceville. And a three-point shot by Moline missed. Rebound gets loose and heads to the Colfax bench. Vikings will get it back. Nine-point Colfax lead. Sierra Shipman. And back in the middle to Bryn Sikora. Her shot missed, rebounded by Chelsea Holden. Holden to Talmadge. Down underneath and off the glass for two. Chelsea Holden for the Bulldogs. Loose ball gets into the hands of Talmadge for Boyceville. She'll put it up from 10, missed, rebounded by Colfax's Sierra Shipman, and then she was on the end line when she rebounded it. Join us tomorrow night on NLWN-2 as we bring you Colfax Viking boys basketball. The Vikings will journey to Durand High School to face the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. And two shots by Boyceville didn't go good, or didn't get in. And it's going back to Boyceville on the jump ball. Coverage begins at 6:40 with Viking pregame, followed by live play-by-play. That's the boys at Durand, Arkansas tomorrow night. NLWN-2. Inbounds throw goes to Chelsea Holden. Holden into Moline. Moline has it tied up, and just taking it right away was Bryn Sikora. Sikora to Goodell. Tries to fire inside to Bovey. Bovey goes up in traffic and puts it in.
Jordan Bovey.
1:12 left, first half.
9 points for Bovey.
Boyceville misses another shot. Kaysen Goodell comes up with it. Goodell from the free throw line fires it to a wide open Jordan Bovey underneath the basket on the left side. .48 seconds left in the first half. Engelman with the ball for Boyceville. Tries to make a pass or a shot, not sure exactly which one that was, but it goes back to Colfax. 40 seconds left, first half. Colfax up by 11. Into Kaysen Goodell. Fired into Lyric Nichols, back to Goodell. Nichols and Goodell back and forth. Now they'll break it up, put it to Bovey on the other side. She'll pass it to Adukovic. And back on the left side of the lane, Goodell. Goodell gets it back to Lyric Nichols. Nichols fires it over to Bryn Sikora. To Jordan Bovey, open for three. Rolls off the top, put back, Adukovic. Good for two. Blake Jeske with the ball. Have a collision down there, and that's how the first half will end. So the Colfax Vikings have 29. The Boyceville Lady Bulldogs have 16. We invite you now to stay tuned for Viking halftime. That's coming your way next. You're watching Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on NLWN-TV.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Time now for Viking halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Okay, today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Sierra Shipman. And Sierra, you're a junior here at Colfax?
Yep.
And we know that you play basketball, but are there any other activities that you've been involved with here at school?
I do volleyball and softball.
Okay, and how'd the volleyball season go for you?
Pretty good.
And how about last year's softball season?
Good.
Yeah. Pretty decent softball team last year, right?
Yeah.
You guys did well. When did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I started playing in second grade, and it's been good.
Okay, and what's the most important thing that you've learned from playing basketball?
But you just have to stay positive.
All right. Yeah, because the negative, it's going to drag you down.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you busy or occupied?
I like to hang out with my friends and family.
Okay. All right. All right, now you know this is coming. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Which kind?
Probably mint chocolate chip.
Ooh, one of my favorites, too. That's a good choice, especially with the holidays and everything. And, yeah. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Hot dog.
And what do you want on that dog?
Ketchup.
Just ketchup. Okay. Favorite color and why?
Probably just light purple. I just like it.
Okay. All right. Now, if Sierra had a superpower, what do you think that might be and why?
I'd probably read other people's minds.
Ooh, good thought.
Yeah.
Get that? Good thought. Okay, and if you had the ability to read minds, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with that superpower. What's Sierra's superhero name?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Work on that one. Okay. Next year when you're a senior and we're doing this again, I expect an answer from you. Okay. All right. Favorite NBA or WNBA team?
Probably the Bucks.
All right. How about his favorite collegiate team?
I don't know. I don't have one.
Okay. If you could sit down with any sports personality from any sport, any time in history, whether it's a player or a coach, whatever, and pick their brain, who do you think that might be and why?
Probably Caitlin Clark. I don't know. I just like her.
Okay, and she'd probably be the easiest of them to get a hold of now.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty recent. All right. We're talking with Sierra Shipman today on Viking Profile. And Sierra, what are your plans for after high school?
I don't know yet.
Haven't decided?
Nope.
You still got time. You're a junior. Okay. How about a shout out to the family?
Yeah, shout out to my family for coming to watch.
They come almost every game, don't they?
Yeah.
They're always there. When people watch Viking games, where should they look for you on the floor?
I'll be at number 3.
And for those people that don't go by the numbers and go by the old-fashioned positions, what would that be?
Probably like a shooting guard.
Okay.
Just like, yeah.
All right, so your job is put the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, okay. We want to thank Sierra Shipman for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Losing the fear of looking foolish comes with age.
Who did you steal him from?
Losing your way in your own home doesn't. Confusion with time and place may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Mom, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's.
Kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy told him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Welcome back. We have a score at halftime. Elk Mound was out in front of Durand, Arkansas by a score of 36-14. And so if the Durand, Arkansas stays on the short end of that, and Boyceville wins. Colfax will be only half a game out of the second place spot in the conference, so we'll watch that one. The Colfax ladies playing well tonight as they lead 29-16, an 11-point margin. We will have, let's take a look at the scoring, Dan.
Yeah, here's the scores right now for the Bulldogs. Their leader right now is number 14, Chelsea Holden. She has 5 points. Aubrey Molina has 4. Brooklyn Talmadge has 5 points. And Blake Jeske has 2 points. For the Vikings, they're led right now by number 12, Jordan Bovey. She has 11 points. Bryn Sikora has 6. Kason Goodell has 5. We got Claire Hajdukovic has 4. And Sierra Shipman has 3. 29-16 Colfax.
So the scoring pretty balanced. The scoring's pretty balanced.
Yeah, you know, they're getting more girls that are scoring points, and that'll help going down the line. You know, to have 6 to 8 girls that can score.
Yeah, and the Bulldogs. We're kind of having some tough shooting in the first half. It'd be interesting to see what the statistics were, but a defensive battle here, 29-16.
Yeah, Bulldogs just couldn't get very much to fall. They played good defense in the first half, and Colfax keep playing defense and find their way inside.
So we're switching ends, so you'll see Colfax going from left to right as they are dressed in road red, white numerals and trim. And here we are. Bryn Sikora is going to fire it into Kason Goodell. Goodell off to Bovey. Bovey has the ball slapped away, but she manages to get it over to Hajdukovic, and now it's stolen away by Aubrey Moline. Moline goes up for the layup, and we're going to have a player control foul on Aubrey Moline. And the Bulldog bench not thrilled about that. 29-16.
Yeah, I think that they thought that Colfax was a little too far under the hoop.
Bovey into Sikora. Back out to Shipman. Shipman over the top, misses everything, but Hajdukovic, he'll put it back up, and that one won't fall either. It's rebounded by Chelsea Holden. Bounce pass into Brooke Talmadge. And we will have the Bulldogs with the ball underneath their own basket. That foul charge to Kason Goodell. That is her first foul of the game, and the Colfax first foul of the second half. Moline gets it into Jeske. Jeske out of the corner, goes up. Hajdukovic with a block. And Goodell bringing it up for the Vikings. Soft to Bovey. Bovey inside to Sikora. Sikora with a bucket underneath on the right side. 31-16.
Bryn Sikora with 8 points.
Aubrey Moline goes up for a layup on the left side. She is fouled by Sierra Shipman of Colfax.
Foul on Shipman.
That is her second foul and the second team foul. That's a shooting foul. So Aubrey Moline puts in the first. And she will get another and makes that one as well. 31-18, Colfax still up in front. On the right side, Jordan Bovey. Bovey to Sikora. To Hajdukovic, back out to Goodell. Goodell will pull it back out on top. Ball get flipped back to Hajdukovic. Over to Sikora. And Goodell. Goodell for three. clears everything, but Hajdukovic comes up with the ball and puts in the basket.
Bucket by Hajdukovic.
33-18 Colfax, 16-10 left to go in the second half. Jeske, give and go to Holden in the corner. She tries to send it back to Holden. And going in for a layup down underneath on the right side is Jordan Bovey. And she ends up on the floor, helped up by Chelsea Holden and Clara Hajdukovic.
Foul on Holden, her first, team second.
Chelsea Holden charged with the foul. That's her first, Boyceville's second. And the first free throw for Jordan Bovey goes in and is good. .55 left second half. That one goes in as well. 35-18 Colfax. Lady Vikings back in action Tuesday. They host Spring Valley in a conference game. Coverage begins here on NLWN-TV with Viking pregame at 6:40. Out of the backcourt, Engemann to Holden. Holden right side, gets around Hajdukovic, puts up a shot, and it ends up rebounded by Sierra Shipman. To Sikora, out to Shipman, three-pointer, front iron, no good. Hajdukovic fighting for the ball, and that one's going to go back to Colfax. So now Zoe Hellendrung checks in for Chelsea Holden for the Bulldogs. Engemann back out to Moline. Moline driving left side, goes up and in, and she is going to get a foul from Clara Hajdukovic. So Boyceville will end up with a three-point play opportunity here.
Per second.
Aubrey Moline's free throw is good. And the Vikings lead now 14. It's 35-21.
Moline has 9 points so far tonight for the Bulldogs.
Goodell and Shipman, or Sikora getting it out of the backcourt. Goodell fires to Shipman. Down underneath, it is Lyric Nichols. Misses a layup on the left side, tosses the ball back in, and it's back and forth between several players, and we are going to have a foul.
On Shipman, her third.
Charge to Sierra Shipman. That's foul number 3 for her.
Team 4.
Jordan Bovey getting ready to check back in, as is Adeline Acker. Close to 15 minutes left here in the second half. Engemann. Give and go out to Moline. Moline back inside, and that's a basket. Zoe Hellendrung. Lyric Nichols gets the pass back out on top to Kason Goodell. Down on the baseline, and we're going to have a jump ball, and that one's going to Colfax this time. Yeah, they got to fix the arrow. Yep, there we go. Inbounds pass into Bryn Sikora. Sikora goes up off the glass. Good. 37-23 Colfax. 14:25 left second half. Ellie Engemann down inside to Hellendrung. Hellendrung off the glass and in for 2. Colfax bringing it up the floor now. It's Kason Goodell. Out to Jordan Bovey. Bovey tries to pass the ball down into the corner, and she's fouled by Ellie Engemann. Nope. Aubrey Moline, that is her second. Boyceville's third of the half. Colfax has 4, so On the next Colfax foul, that's going to send the Bulldogs to the line for the bonus. Down inside, nice pass to Lyric Nichols, who puts in the basket.
Nichols with her first 2 points tonight.
Moline fires a pass inside, shot goes up and it's no good. Colfax gets the rebound, gets the ball back. Kaysen Goodell out to Lyric Nichols, down in the corner, out to Adeline Acker, misses it, and that ball is going to be rolled off one of the Colfax players, and Boyceville will get it back. Jay Fall, Dan Petshaw, Chris Olson with you from Boyceville. Jeske out of the backcourt to Moline. Moline dumping it off to Hellingdrung. Pass too hard, can't get to her. Colfax comes up with it. Sikora brings it up, and a three-point attempt. Bovey! No, check that. That's Kaysen Goodell.
Three-pointer by Goodell.
8 points for Goodell.
42-25, Colfax, 13 minutes left in the second half. Driving up, Aubrey Moline goes up, and ball goes out of bounds off Colfax. Boyceville will keep it. Moline bounces it inside and hooked. Zoe Hellendrong with the basket for Boyceville. Goodell, and we are going to have a foul charge to Colfax's Brooklyn Talmadge.
Foul on Brooklyn Talmadge, her third.
That is hers third and the fourth foul of the half for Boyceville. So next foul by either team puts the other in the bonus. Up the floor to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic into Jordan Bovey, who had to be stopped by Goodell down there before running into that other set of bleachers. So on the free throw line is Jordan Bovey. Bovey's first is good. And second one good as well.
Colfax is 6 for 6 from the line tonight.
Oh. Ball gets loose. Colfax comes up with it. It's Kaysen Goodell ends up with it on the floor. It's going to be a timeout Colfax. 12:30 to go second half. Colfax 44, Boyceville 27. You're watching Viking Girls Basketball on NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Menominee Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
With 6 minutes left to go, Elk Mound leads Rand, Arkansas 45-33. And the ball will go to the Bulldogs. Blake Jeske to Aubrey Moline. They're still in the backcourt. Full court press by Colfax. Ball gets loose as they try to pass it to Emma Harvey, and it rolls off of her hand, or that's Brooklyn Talmadge goes out of bounds. Kaysen Goodell with the ball for Colfax, out to Jordan Bovey. To Lyric Nichols. And back to Goodell. Goodell drives the lane, pops it up from 8, and puts it in.
Basket by Goodell.
46-27. And that pass went to straight to the gym doors. Colfax will get it back. Bryn Sikora and Kaysen Goodell out of the backcourt for Colfax. Out to Clara Hajdukovic. Gets by her, but Jordan Bovey right there to pick it up. Back over to Nichols. Inside to Goodell. Back out to Hajdukovic. And Sikora. Goodell from the free throw line looks at one, gives it to Bovey. Bovey makes a move out to Hajdukovic. Three-pointer is good. 49-27.
9 points for Clara.
Colfax with the lead over Boyceville. Pass goes out to Hellendrung. Hellendrung to Harvey. Back out to Moline. Moline out to back to Hellendrung. Colfax having the middle pretty well bottled up here. Pass goes to Emma Harvey. Moline outside the arch to Jeske. Jeske around a screen, off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Lyric Nichols. Quickly up the floor to an open Jordan Bovey. She puts in the layup. And will get a free throw. And she was fouled on that play. Brooklyn Talmadge, the freshman, she has 4 fouls, and she's going to take a break. Boyceville has 6 fouls, so on the next one, Colfax goes into the double bonus. 1+1 bonus on the next Colfax foul to Boyceville. And 3-point play completed. Colfax up 52-27. Engelman out to Holden. Holden backing into a screen, gets out to Harvey. Harvey looking to get rid of it. Moline comes back to help her out. Moline out to Harvey. Harvey with a pass inside, goes out to the corner, and Hellendrung could not bring it in. Colfax will get it back. And Boyceville wants a full timeout. 9:56 to go, second half. Colfax 52, Colfax 27. You're watching Viking Girls Basketball on NLWN-2.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit dairystatebank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Well, you're watching NLWN-TV, but if you want to see a game on NLWN-2, join us tomorrow night. The Viking boys are at Durand, Arkansas. Viking pregame 6:40, live play-by-play follows. with the ball, Bryn Sikora. She'll hand the ball off to Goodell. Sikora will get it back, trying some fancy ball handling. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to Boyceville. The girls return to action Tuesday night. They host Spring Valley in a Dunn-St. Croix Conference game. NLWN-TV right here. Viking pregame Tuesday, 6:40. Live play-by-play follows. Boyceville with the ball. Chelsea Holden hands it off to Ellie Engeman. Back into Emma Harvey. Harvey up, shot bounces off, rebounded by Lyric Nichols. Kason Goodell brings it up the floor. Outside the arch to Lyric Nichols, three-pointer, catches the iron, but rebounded by Jordan Bovey. She tries to put it up again, and Bovey trying to take it away. It's going to be a jump ball, and it is going to go to Colfax this time. Viking girls game that was postponed on Monday at Prescott will be made up on Saturday, February 22nd, and can be seen live on NLWN-TV. We'll let you know the details as far as time and all of that. Kason Goodell ends up with the ball, top of the key. She goes up, pops it off the glass, won't go. Rebounded by Boyceville's Blake Jeske. Jeske out to Engeman. Engeman on the right wing, goes in the middle to Emma Harvey. Back out on the left side to Jeske. Jeske, Hellendrung. And to Harvey. Back over opposite side, Hellendrung. To Engeman. And knocked and stolen away by Colfax. Kason Goodell, layup, missed. And teetering right on the end line was Blake Jeske of Boyceville, so Colfax is going to get to keep the ball. Goodell into Hajdukovic, her shot blocked, and the rebound by Kylie Schlew. Nope, check that, Chelsea Holden. Blake Jeske with the ball. And she is fouled. Must have been before she took a couple extra steps there.
Foul on Shipman.
Foul is going to be charged to Sierra Shipman. That's her fourth. That's the fifth foul on Colfax. So Jeske is going to shoot 1-and-1. She is one of the several freshmen on this Boyceville team. First free throw, good. Viking boys game that was postponed on Tuesday against Mondovi will be made up as the first half of a boys then girls doubleheader on Tuesday, February 11th, with the boys and Mondovi tipping off at 5:45, and the girls against Glenwood City following. Both games carried on both NLWN-TV and NLWN-2, with coverage beginning at approximately 5:15. Driving in for Colfax, has the ball stolen away, and now we'll have another jump ball. And that one is going to, well, the scoreboard says one thing and the scores table says another. No, that's right. Okay, home, Boyceville. Inbounds pass tipped. It was tipped by Colfax's Sierra Shipman. Was straight up, did not get in the way of that. Engeman with a pass, gets it back into Talmadge. Talmadge playing with 4 fouls. Hellendrung into Jeske. Jeske up, shot missed, rebounded by Colfax's Sierra Shipman. Kason Goodell will bring it across at the center jump circle. Goodell looking inside, will fire it to Bovey. Bovey for 3, swishes it in.
Jordan Bovey for 3.
55-28, Colfax, 6:50 left in the game. Ellie Engelman out top. And Jordan Bovey driving in will flip a pass over.
Bucket by Kaysen Goodell.
And Kaysen Goodell finishes it off with the points. Zoe Hellendrung give and go to Ellie Engelman. And we will have a foul on
Jordan Bovey.
Jordan Bovey of Colfax, her second. And the team's sixth. Talmadge. A scoop shot goes in. 6 minutes to go. Brooklyn Talmadge doing the honors on that one. 57-30, Colfax leading Boyceville. Down inside, Clara Hajdukovic puts in the bucket for Colfax. 59-30.
11 points for Clara.
Aubrey Moline, three-point shot. Airball goes out of bounds. Colfax will bring it up. Bryn Sikora passes it in to Kaysen Goodell. Goodell with a ball fake, and it ends up getting picked off by Brooklyn Talmadge. And Talmadge is fouled by Bovey, who ends up on the floor.
Foul on Kaysen Goodell, her second.
No, Kaysen Goodell, sorry, that's her second. So that will put Talmadge on the line, makes the first. 5:20 left in the game. Second one goes in as well. Pulls Boyceville a little closer, but it's 59-32 Colfax.
Bulldogs 7 for 11 from the line tonight.
Bovey into Hajdukovic, back out. Now the ball's tipped. No one there to take it. Let's see. No, and they managed to keep it in bounds. Colfax will get it. Down underneath, it goes in to Sierra Shipman, who's going to put in the bucket.
Bucket by Shipman.
5 points for Sierra.
Blake Jeske out to Aubrey Moline. And a three-point shot by Zoe Hellendrung bounces off. Coming up with the ball, Colfax's Sierra Shipman. Shipman out in the corner, back outside the arch to Sikora. Trying to get it down underneath to... And it's stolen away, and Colfax trying to steal it back, but it goes out of bounds off of them, so Boyceville will continue to keep possession. 4:25 left in the game. Colfax 61, Boyceville 32. Inbounds throw to Moline. Moline driving, looking to get rid of it, tosses it back to Harvey. Harvey down on the right side, trying to get it over to a teammate, and it is picked off by Colfax's Sierra Shipman. Top of the key, it's Goodell. Goodell drives the lane, out to Shipman. Shipman for three, bounces off, tapped around, and it's rebounded by Moline. Moline give and go to Harvey. To Blake Jeske. Trying to get the rebound is Chelsea Holden. And the ball goes out of bounds off of her. Out of bounds. And it goes back to Colfax. Kaysen Goodell Fires down underneath to Sierra Shipman, back out to Bobby. Goodell drives in left, wide open on the left side, puts in a layup, and Colfax takes a timeout. 3:19 to go, second half. Colfax 63, Boyceville 32. You're watching Viking Girls Basketball on NLWN-TV.
NLWN-2 is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School Boys Basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season.
This is what we came here for!
Our next game will be on Friday, January 24th, when the Vikings travel to Durand, Wisconsin to take on the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on Friday, January 24th on NLWN-2.
Even though it's winter, baseball is just around the corner. And the Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to bring you Colfax High School Baseball, followed by Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. So stick with us all spring and summer long for America's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Welcome back to Boyceville. Jay Fald and Petshaw, Chris Olson with you for Colfax Girls Basketball. The Lady Vikings out on top of the Lady Bulldogs. 63-32, and Elk Mound won the contest at Durand, Arkansas. So Colfax win will only put them a half a game behind the Panthers. Emma Harvey flings it over to Aubrey Moline. Moline back to Harvey. Back and forth. Down in the far corner to Brooklyn Talmadge. Three-point shot attempt, bounces off, reload, doesn't go, rebounded by Kaysen Goodell. And the Vikings take a 30-second timeout. 2:27 left to go, second half, 63-32. And we will keep it right here. Some of the weekend activities coming up for Colfax High. Bloomer Colfax wrestling team travels to Shell Lake. They start at 9:30 up there. The Colfax gymnasts will head to Rice Lake Saturday. That gets underway at 11. And the Dunn-St. Croix Conference champion Viking dance team will compete in regionals on Saturday. Girls back in action Tuesday night, back at home, hosting Spring Valley. NLWN-TV. Viking pregame starts at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play tomorrow night on NLWN-2. The Viking boys travel to Durand to take on the Durand, Arkansas Panthers in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference contest. Again, coverage starting with Viking pregame at 6:40. Live play-by-play following.
Bunch of
Lyric
girls
Nichols
in
in.
for Colfax. Raina Keltner, Sophie Hazuga. Number 10 is Adeline Acker. Number 40, Alexa Wiedner.
Ellie Engelman with the ball for Boyceville, over to Zoe Hellingdrung. Underneath, Emma Harvey misses the shot. Rebound pulled down by Raina Keltner. Keltner hands it off to Sophie Hazuga. Out to Nichols. Nichols drives in. Keltner, three-point shot. Close. Bangs around on top, but doesn't go in. Inside a minute and a half now. Ellie Engelman with the ball. Out to Sydney Larson. To Zoe Hellendrung, puts it up, missed. Rebounded by the Vikings' Adeline Acker. Over to Alexa Widener, down to Lyric Nichols. Widener driving left side. Back over to Heziga. Acker down inside. Lyric Nichols puts in a layup.
Basket by Nichols.
Colfax 65, Boyceville 32.
4 points for Lyric.
Ellie Engelman with the ball out to Zoe Hellendrung. Hellendrung up to Sydney Larson. Back to Engelman. They go down underneath. Shot goes up, rolls off the back of the rim. And Colfax will bring it up the floor. Pass gets to Sophie Haziga, and the three-point attempt by Adeline Acker doesn't go. Boyceville will bring it back. We have 22 seconds left. Ellie Engelman to Zoe Hellendrung, down underneath, left open Kylie Slew. She'll put in a bucket for Boyceville.
Kylie Slew.
Down to 5 seconds. And Colfax is just going to hold the ball and let this one end. So the Vikings win over the Boyceville Bulldogs 65-34. So the Vikings record in the conference improves to 5 wins and 2 losses. And they are 9-4 on the season, while Boyceville now 2-5 in the league and 5-9 overall. We invite you to stay tuned for Viking postgame, and hopefully we'll have a conversation with Courtney Sauer. And that is coming up next. You're watching Viking Girls Basketball on NLWN-TV.
NLWN-2 is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School Boys Basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season.
This is what we came here for.
Our next game will be on Friday, January 24th, when the Vikings travel to Durand, Wisconsin to take on the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. The coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on Friday, January 24th on NLWN-2.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
Welcome back to Boyceville. Tonight's final, Colfax Girls 65, Boyceville 34. It was 29-16 at halftime, and Colfax doubled the point output of Boyceville 36-18 to win 65-34. In the JV game tonight, it was Boyceville 44-41. Dan, let's take a look at the numbers.
Yeah, here's the scores tonight for the Bulldogs. They're led by number 20, Aubrey Moline. She had 12 points. We had Chelsea Holden with 5. We had Blake Jeske with 5. We had Zoe Hollandrung with 2. We had Kylie Schlu with 2. Emma Harvey had 2. And Brooker Talmadge had 8. For the Vikings, they're led tonight by number 12, Jordan Bovey. She had 22 points. Casey Godella had 12. We had Claire Hajdukovic with 11. Bryn Sakar had 10. Sierra Shipman had 5. Lyric Nichols had 4. And that's all. I forgot to... Oh, no, I wrote the score down. 65-34 Colfax.
Yeah, we found that, it's important to do that here because the scoreboard goes off, boom,
yeah,
like that. Especially if Boyceville is on the short end. And we will talk with Courtney Sauerauer. She's on her way up here. And...
Thank you.
Thanks. Coach, congratulations. Always good to get a win on the road in the conference.
Yeah, I thought we played really well. In the first half, we really let our defense create our offense. We had a couple, nice passes and finishes in transition, which I was happy to see. Overall, I thought we, shared the ball really well. There was a couple times, in the first half, I thought the shot was in, and then it rolled around the rim and it wasn't, but we continued to battle, and our shot selection was really good.
Yeah, there was a lot of those that seemed to bounce around and out in all kinds of different directions. Then in the second half, your offense continued. You outscored them 36-18.
Yeah, I thought, second half we definitely, relaxed and finished our shots a lot better than we did first half. We shot the ball really well from the free throw line, so really no complaints from me.
Okay. So continuing in the conference then, Tuesday night, you host Spring Valley. What do you expect from that one?
Yeah, the Houlihan girl's been playing really well, so we'll have to do a good job, trying to contain her. We let her, the last time we played Spring Valley, she, was able to put up quite a few points against us, so she's kind of what makes their team go, so we want to, really put a focus on stopping her and having good gap help and, continuing to rebound.
Okay, well, thanks for coming up to talk with us. Congratulations on the win. Courtney Sauerauer, the head coach of the Colfax Vikings. So,
you had their score, didn't you? Allowance?
No, you had it on the text. So we will join you tomorrow night for Viking boys basketball on NLWN-2. The Viking boys will be at Durand to face the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Girls back in action Tuesday against Spring Valley. That's at home at Colfax. Both of those start with Viking pregame about 6:40, followed by live play-by-play. The boys on NLWN-2 and the girls on NLWN-TV. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality, personalized care for you and your family. C&K Construction, concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley and Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. We hope that you'll thank these fine sponsors soon by doing some business with you. They bring you Colfax Viking basketball here on NLWN-TV. Well, we appreciate you joining us tonight. For camera operator Chris Olson and Dan Petshaw, I'm Jay Fall. Thanks a lot for joining us. Good night.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.